Rockstar Gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone. Join the live stream. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notification bell so you don't miss any new content. Yeah, man, Victory Monday feels different. It does feel different. I'll be honest with you guys. It does feel different after winning a game that you expected to lose. I'll tell you that. I mean, for you guys, as you know, I mean, if you watched my live stream this past Friday, I sat there and said I didn't believe that Carolina would win this game. Y'all knew that. If you watched my live stream, but I have my camera turned off for now. I will pop it back on here in a minute, but I'm eating. So while I'm live with you guys, we just got back home from doing Christmas lights. We went to a light show tonight. So me and the family did. So but I knew I needed to get on here, get something out to you guys tonight, and we're gonna dive right into it, each and everything, tonight for sure. So I appreciate everyone in here. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. We already got some people in the chat. We got Jeff R. We got. I still think your name. I'm still gonna call you Trap. We got Jeff R in the building. We got Trap. We got Josh. Keep pounding. I appreciate you being here, each and every one of you. So again, I'm trying to get a poll question together for you guys today. There we go. Here we go. Trying to get this poll question up. Give me 1 second. And it's a simple yes. And it's not 2024. It's actually 2025. And all right. Perfect. There we go. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit difficult for you guys to answer this question, because it is a question we're going to bring up once we talk about him, because we have to talk about Bryce Young tonight because of that performance. I think a lot of people are very encouraged as well, Josh. You're probably not the only one that is encouraged, right? So, and I don't blame you to be. All right. We're also going to be doing a huge giveaway. But there's ways for you to enter. And I'm starting a goal. And part of it, as you can see, is already up there. We also got a poll question of the day as well. All right, so let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. Let's move this to a side. Let's show my beautiful face to you, ladies and gentlemen. And let me get some stuff pulled up real quick. First things first, I got to pull up my handy dandy ESPN. Damn. All right. Let's go over here. Let's get into the box score real quick. Let's get into the box score real quick. All right, let me share my screen. All right, and let me go like this. And let me make this bigger. And let me zoom in on this for you guys. All right. So 30 to 36. So here's the thing. I'm going to say this. Monday optimism is here. Because setting expectations does matter when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. Even when things feel pointless, I feel like we still need to set expectations, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes our expectations are way too high. Some of us may say that they're perfectly fine. Some people may disagree. You know, everybody's expectations for this team now are different, right? And the Carolina, this team has somehow managed to meet expectations this season for me, because I expected this team to go 6-11. They still can. They might lose. They might lose the next two games for all I know. But I said their ceiling was 6 to 7 wins, and I said their floor was 4. We've already hit the floor, and I said that in my early predictions with you guys. So far, they've met my expectations at least to a minimum, though not in any way that feels satisfying or encouraging. But let's cut the bullshit. This team wasn't built to win in 2024, ladies and gentlemen, and nobody should have ever expected that. Anyone who thought otherwise was either delusional or they're not paying attention. This year was about laying the groundwork, figuring out what Bryce Young's got under the hood, and seeing if Dave Canales can actually coach a damn NFL team. I think the question here is mission accomplished. And those two things. Laying the groundwork, figuring out who Bryce Young is, right? And seeing if Dave Canales can actually be a head coach in the NFL. I would say mission accomplished if you're answering that question, sort of. Because the Panthers sure as hell didn't win, and we got an eyeful of Bryce Young, and Dave Canales gave us a mixed bag that's not exactly inspiring confidence. But if we talk, let's talk about Bryce Young this season, because we're going to be optimistic, and then we'll give a recap, and I'll give you my takeaways of this game. But if we're talking about the optimism that I'm talking about here, is that Bryce Young has had a roller coaster ride from hell here. All right, and it's been a roller coaster ride from hell for us fans watching him, because that's what this season really boiled down to, is figuring out, can this kid even hack it? And holy shit, he has made it hard to tell. 1 week he looks like the next great NFL quarterback, nearly taking down the Chiefs and the Eagles and the Buccaneers. And then the next week he's throwing ducks against the Cowboys. Like he's in a Pop Warner game. It's the inconsistency is maddening, and it does matter. Those games that he is inconsistent does matter, but it's not just us fans who are feeling, whiplash. You can see it on sidelines, because it's like you see it, and then it's like, what the hell's going on? And it's about expectations. Like Bryce Young came into the starting lineup after Andy Dalton's car accident, because of course the season couldn't be normal, right? They had to play it out like I don't know, a true crime story, or a drama act, a New York play. It was like it was the show, right? They played like he had nothing. He played like he had nothing to lose. He was loose, confident, actually fun to watch after he came back from that benching. Then he ran into two of the best teams in the NFC. And guess what? Nobody expected shit from him. That's like a free play on the offside penalty, right? He balled out because he could. But then came that Cowboys game. And for the first time, I felt like in his career, watching this kid, the Panthers were favored. Right? Pressure, expectations. What happened? The offensive line decided to take the week off. Young reverted back to his old ways. He looked like crap, plain and simple. And it wasn't pretty. But it also wasn't shocking. Because if you fast forward to the Cardinals game now, right, yesterday, he showed us a little something. He showed us a little something. He was expecting his line to fall apart after half the guys spent the week 6 and missing practice, including the starting center. But the line held up okay. Young actually looked loose again. He ran the ball, picked up yards on the ground, even scored a rushing touchdown. He adapted to the situation. That's progress. Even if it's not the kind of thing you're putting in the Hall of Fame highlight reel. Now, here's the thing. I want to be clear with what I'm going with here with this whole Monday optimism. The NFL is a controlled chaos. It's controlled chaos. That's what the NFL is. You have to figure it out. Because the NFL is barely controlled chaos on a good day. Because if Bryce Young wants a long career in this league, he's going to have to figure out how to succeed when shit hits the fan. He's also going to have to learn to succeed when expectations matter. Just like that Cowboys game when you're favored. And this year it's been a crash course in how messy football can get. I mean, Young essentially doing a re-medal rookie year. Mistakes are going to happen. Disappointments were going to happen. But, seeing him bounce back after that Cowboys game, man, I mean, the Cowboys were a disaster at that time. But they bounced back. They beat us. They beat Tampa Bay. And you were hoping that they would play. And then they play better the next week. And they beat the Cardinals. But then here's the thing. Carolina beats the Cardinals. That's something. It's not proof he's the savior of the franchise, I will say. I think that him bouncing back is definitely proof that there's maybe something there, but it's not proof that he is the savior, that he's the franchise quarterback. But it's definitely a sign that he's learning. And I want this kid to succeed. So people got to understand that. I am not a Bryce lover, Bryce sexual, whatever y'all want to call it. All right. I can't stand all that craziness, but it's slowly, painfully, but learning. Was it Young's adjustment in this game against the Cardinals, would you say, or was it Coach Canales coaching that got him back on track? I think who the hell knows? You could say it's Canales, and I could agree with you. You could say, no, it's just Young adjusting. I could also agree with you in that. I honestly think it doesn't matter, because what matters is that it happened and it's something to build on. That's the way I look at it. Right? And here's another thing. Is it too soon to call it? Because I can't sit here and tell you that Bryce Young is going to be a superstar. I also can't sit here and tell you he's going to flame out. It's just too damn early to tell. Now, Young wasn't exactly followed a fairy tale trajectory since entering the league, let's be honest. But he's still standing, and for now, that's enough. And that's what I do know. Now, if you'd told me before the season started that Young would string together 6 good performances and 1 complete meltdown between weeks 9 through 16, because that's what happened. He had 6 good performances from week 9 to week 16 and 1 bad meltdown in that time span. I'd have called a solid, I would call that a solid step forward. Is it frustrating to watch? Absolutely, it's definitely frustrating to watch. Does it mean he's a bust? I'm going to say not yet. There's a big picture here, and I think a lot of you guys, when I'm talking about this, are not seeing. I think what you need to see for the bigger picture here is this. And this is really what I was getting at through this whole little rant here. I would say for now, all we can do is watch and see. You watch Young, you watch Canales, you watch the rest of the godforsaken team. Are they building momentum? Are they figuring it out how to not suck next year? That's the real question. It's not one we'll have an answer until this season is, in the rearview mirror, right? This ride that we're on right now is far from over. It's probably going to get bumpier before it gets smoother. But I hope they don't drive us off the cliff along the way, figuring out if Bryce is the franchise guy or not, and continue to figure out if Dave Canales is the next head coach of the future for the Carolina Panthers. Right? But that's kind of my thought process right now. That's my thought process right now. Right? Nia Shadowwolf comes in and says, Clay, did you update your Discord link? I'll just add it in here real quick, man. I'll just add it into the chat for you. I do need to update it, though. You're not lying. You are not lying. But if you want to join the Discord, it is for free. So there you go. It's right there, Nia Shadow, with the new Discord link right there. They were favored because no one paid attention to Dallas. Dallas been balling and would be on a 5-game streak, but muffed special teams play. We have something to build on, in my opinion. You already know I'm a Bryce supporter. I would consider myself a Bryce supporter. I would say that I support him and that I want him to succeed, that I want him to be the franchise guy because of the investment that we made into this kid. You sold your mortgage away to get this kid, right? We want to prove, right? I want to prove Bears fans wrong, right? I want to prove those Bears fans that trolled us for making that trade to go get Bryce Young, right? That's what I want. But I'm not going to sit here and say, and because I'm in my mind, I'm thinking realistically, I'm not going to sit here and say he's my franchise guy for the next 5 years, or the next 10 years down the road. I just don't know if Bryce is that yet. Is again those 6 that 7-week span where Bryce had 6 solid performances and 7 one, and then 1 bad one out of the 7 weeks there from week 9 to week 16. Can I say that there was progress made? Yes. But can we say, again, another question that I even mentioned in that little rant there, I think a lot of people are forgetting too, is was the reason that we beat the Cardinals in this game was how Bryce made the adjustments and bounced back, or was it Dave Canales kind of doing the same thing, making the adjustments and bouncing back? right? As well, right? Or was it Canales coaching Bryce Young to get him back on track, right? Was it that? Again, at the end of the day, I don't like that. It's not. I don't dislike Bryce. I actually like the kid. I just want him. I just can't say that he's the franchise guy like other people feel like he is. That doesn't mean I don't support him. Hey, Rock, you never. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I can tell you that. The bigger question is, look at our top 4 picks last year. What is happening? The bigger question is, look at our top 4 picks last year. What is happening? Man, what's happening is you got one that's got an ACL tear. You got Leggett, who's got a bad hip injury. But again, you've seen flashes of potential. You got Jalen Coke. You got Shadavion Sanders, who has shown some flashes as well, but has been injured on and off the field. You know, it's it's no surprise, man. I mean, Trevor Wallace, though, has been the best rookie, I think, so far. I think Trevor Wallace has been the best rookie this season for the Carolina Panthers. And I don't even think it's close compared to Xavier Leggett, Shadavion Sanders, Chow Smith, Wade. I mean, obviously, you can say Jonathan Brooks, Jalen Brooks as well. I honestly think Trevor Wallace has been the best rookie for the Carolina Panthers this season. And it's not even close. Hey, I would love to hold out for Lenore Sellers. I think he's going to be a Heisman candidate this upcoming season. Rock, have you seen the recruits that Beamer's getting in? Have you seen the transfer portal that we've been getting? Yeah, Lenore Sellers is about to be set up nicely. Is about to be set up nicely to have another big season, probably a better season than this year, in my opinion. Yeah, I definitely think so, Rock. I think Beamer is Beamer ball, baby. That's all I got to say, Rock. Beamer ball all day long. I'm telling Lenore Sellers is our guy, dude. I would love it. I would love it, Jeff R. I would be ecstatic. Bryce is looking fantastic right now. He is. I mean, he's looking a lot better. We're going to dive into his performance a little bit more. Again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. I know it's a late night. I know it's late on Monday evening. Again, do me a favor. Again, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Again, share out the live. I would greatly appreciate that to your friends, your family. And feel free to join the Discord as always. I wanted to share. I'll share my screen here in a minute, but I kind of want to give a little recap and a few takeaways from this game. First things first, we got to talk about Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard's performance, I think, is absolutely phenomenal, man. Actually, I'm going to back out of here. I think you can see it from down here. But again, Chuba, 25 carries, 152 yards, averaging 6 yards carries, 2 touchdowns, right? I mean, literally carried the Panthers on his back. Literally. In this messy, high-scoring game, which I can't believe we scored 36 points in a game, right? He racked up 150, again, racking up that 152 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, that walk-off for 21 yards, score in overtime that sent fans home happy. Listen, what I don't understand is why Chuba Hubbard isn't getting the respect that he deserves, though. Like, again, do I think Chuba Hubbard is an elite running back? No. Do I think he's a damn star? Yes. I think he's a superstar running back. There's a difference between a superstar running back and elite running back. I think Chuba Hubbard's getting paid like a superstar running back should. What he's doing this year is proving to me that his extension and us picking up the 5th-year not his 5th-year option, but extending him. Like, the progression for this guy has been nothing short of incredible for Chuba Hubbard. I mean, you're talking about a guy that went from a 4th-round pick, right, to a $33.2 million man. And now he's one of the top backs in the league. He's earned every penny. The dude is a cornerstone for offense moving forward, plain and simple. But the thing is with that Chuba Hubbard is his sheer power and speed, and he displays that in this game. And obviously the other ones weren't flukes. The thing that makes Chuba Hubbard so good, though, for me, watching him play, is how patient of a runner he is. If you watch him in the backfield, he's very patiently working behind the tackles and the guards, waiting for that nice little hole to open. And when that hole opens, he bursts, right? That's part of that wide zone scheme that Dave Canales runs that people don't realize. That's the way Dave Canales runs the football. He wants his halfback, and I told y'all this a while back, the 3 R's: read, react, run. He reads the defense, what they're doing, right? He reads the defense and what they're doing. He patiently waits, right? So that's what he's doing. That's reading. Then he reacts when he finds that hole, and then he runs. That's what makes Chuba Hubbard so good right now. He's not he's not on Derrick Henry's level. I don't think so. I don't think he's on Saquon Barkley's level. But can he be in the conversation with those guys to be a top 5, top 10 back? He most sure as hell can. He's been doing it all season, all year. He's developing into a consistent, every down who punishes defenses, and that's what you need. You better believe defensive coordinators across the league are circling his name in red ink on game plans. Again, what makes Hubbard's rise even sweeter is how he's silencing these people out here, critics, haters that wrote him off as a depth guy. The guy that first got drafted here was sitting behind one of the best running backs and shadowed him, right? Again, the guy's vision, the guy's burst, the ability to break tackles have all been elite this season. I have to give him that. Those 3 things have been elite. There's certain things that he does need to improve on, but for the most part, he's doing what he needs to do is to be elite in this system. And it's clear that the Panthers rely on him to keep them in games. That's why I don't understand when we see Dave Canales run away from the run game so early. This is a game-winning performance that just might cement him as one of the top backs in the NFC, and I don't care what anybody says. You couldn't tell me differently. You could not tell me differently. Unbothered says, I have a little time. Do you now? I have a little time. What time is that? I mean, yeah, injuries are a thing that scouts need to have accurate analysts. Can't be drafting injury prone, high risk players. Forest City, keep pounding, appreciate it. He's gotten better at that. Still has the room to go for sure. He's basically a slightly better James Conner. I think James Conner is a guy that's very slept on in the league. I really do. I think he is. He's definitely. I think he's better than James Conner. I think though that James Conner is a slightly. I think he's a very underrated running back in the NFL. I don't think he gets a lot of credit where credit's due. And obviously, it proves that yesterday with the Cardinals because when he was on the field, which we're going to talk about that run defense here shortly, when he was on the field, he was tough to stop. And that offense was running through James Conner before he got injured. Smash that like button. Smash the like and subscribe. Appreciate that, Dom34. Appreciate you being here, my guy. Let's go. Let's get into Mr. Bryce Young real quick. Bryce Young, if you didn't know, has become this week the highest rated quarterback by PFF. Now you can take that with a grain of salt. You can take it however you want. But Bryce Young, PFF's got him ranked as the number 1 quarterback in week 16. Crazy. It's crazy. I think one thing about Bryce Young in this game that proved to me one thing about him is that his mobility is underused, but it's very deadly. Let's get one thing straight. Bryce Young's ability to make plays with his legs is criminally underrated. Sure, he's not a big dude. That's probably why teams don't take him seriously as a runner. But hell, he ran over a Cardinals player. I don't remember who it was, but he lowered that shoulder. I mean, the Cardinals sure as hell didn't. And Young made them pay for it a couple times. That's why he had over 68 yards on 13 carries. I think it was something like that. What was it? Let me go back here. He had 5 carries, 68 yards. So my bad. Less carries than what I said, but same amount of yards. 13 carries. There's my 13 number. Average 13.6 yards per carry. Whenever he saw an opening in this game, he bolted, turning what could have been dead plays into decent gains. Hell, he even ripped off, like I said, some big ones because Arizona didn't bother putting a spy on him the whole game. If you watch that defense, this is part of his game the Panthers need to weaponize, I feel like, more often. Now, here's the thing. Let's not get carried away here too much because he's not Cam Newton. He's not Mike Vick. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not even Kyler Murray, technically, in that athleticism of running, right? Or the speed, I feel like. I don't know. You guys let me know how you would compare Bryce Young's running style to. Is it more like a Kyler Murray? Is it more like a Patrick Mahomes? Because it definitely ain't a Cam Newton. It definitely ain't a Josh Allen. Is it Mike Vick-esque? I don't know. Again, but he doesn't need to be out there taking. I want to say this, though. The fact that he's not a Cam Newton or the fact that he's not a Josh Allen, you cannot have him taking those unnecessary hits. But damn, when you use his legs correctly, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. What up, Marcos Cash? Appreciate you joining. He was balling out yesterday. Yes, he was, Josh. And Bryce could take a hit too. He took a lot of hits. But Jeff, we have to give him credit where credit's due, man. I mean, he took a lot of hits yesterday. You know, it was staying in the pocket when blitzes were coming, making the throws. But man, he again when they utilize his legs correctly, it's fun to watch. It's fun. Add to the credits that the Cards need to win. Yeah. Unbother says BY9 I trust. Okay. He's more like a cat running from a dog. Okay. Is that how you compare it, Rock Jones? That's funny. He's a Russ in the run game. Okay. So like a Russell Wilson. He's like a Russell Wilson. Okay. I would love for him to turn into Russell Wilson in the Seattle days. I can tell you that. At least they won a Super Bowl. I can tell you that. I wouldn't be mad about that. Right? I'm just saying. But another thing with Bryce is that, you know, again, when a guy finishes with 68 yards and rushing and a touchdown on just 5 carries, what that proves to me is that he's an efficient runner. Right? It gave the Cardinals defense something to think about, opening up opportunities in the pass game. Right? It's a reminder that this guy has it's part of Dave Canales' job to now continue to figure out how to use them without breaking him. Right? Now, when you go look at Bryce Young's first half stats, and the reason why I always like to bring the first half up is because they weren't spectacular. Most of the time, his stats aren't very good in the first half. Because let's not pretend like in the first half, Bryce Young lit up the world on fire in the first half. He didn't. In the first half in this game, he did something just as important, though. He didn't screw things up. That alone is progress for this offense. Again, sure, there were a couple of drop passes, missed throws, but the key here is that he protected the damn ball, right? And after this turnover palooza against the Cowboys, this was a breath of fresh air. He also had a lot of help, though, with Chuba Hubbard in the run game, which made life easier. But we got it again. You got to remember the reason why also that Bryce kept us in this game in the run game with his legs, too. I think a lot of people say, well, Chuba Hubbard's the reason why we won this game. I mean, we got to give Bryce credit where credit's due, where you putting up 5 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown for averaging 13.6 yards per carry. I mean, you could say it's the run game, but you also got to include the context that it was both Hubbard and Bryce. But yes. But statistically in the first half for Bryce Young, it was a platform to build on. He had a fit, I think, and I'm looking at his stats in the first half, and it says here 50% of completion percentage, 45 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown at that point. And then he had 0 interceptions, 1 sack. And at that point, he had 61 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. And at that point, ESPN had him at a 95.8 passer rating. So again, nothing flashy, no major screw ups for a guy coming off a brutal game, and that's a win. But another thing that I saw in Bryce Young in this game, I felt like his confidence was a little bit restored, right? Right? I felt like he was restored a bit, right? Like he's been all in. Like Dave Canales has been all in on Bryce Young's mental toughness, even after the shit show against Dallas, right? Now, it turns out Canales might be onto something because Young didn't look rattled at all in this game. His command of the offense was sharper. He looked confident, poised, and most importantly, decisive. This wasn't the hesitant, wide-eyed rookie we saw earlier in the season, right? He found his footing once again. That's a big deal. His ability to shake off bad plays, move on, is a trait you can't teach. So the guy's got balls, okay? He's got cojones, cods, nutsack, whatever you want to call it. He's got that, right? Plain and simple. When he plays like this, it's easy to see why Carolina took him at number 1 overall. He still has a long way to go, but the signs are there. I think another thing is he's having fun again. That was another thing I noticed in this game. It's hard to watch. It's been hard to watch this kid all season. The kid was looked downright miserable at times, especially after his benching in the week 3. But against the Cardinals, he looked like he was actually enjoying himself for a change. Because football is a hell of a lot more fun when you're not getting your ass handed to you every single week. You know, the kid played loose. He smiled. He seemed to genuinely enjoy the game. His teammates noticed it too. When your quarterback is having fun and playing confident, it's contagious. The whole team feeds off that energy. He's not forcing shit anymore. It shows. He's letting the game come to him. He trusts his reads, staying patient. But let's go back to what I just said, trusting his reads. That is one thing that I love to see, but there's times where I don't love to see it because Bryce makes the wrong read. He's got to get better with his reads. There's some inconsistency there in the read department where he like in the Dallas game, that tip pass that went to Thielen when you had a wide open Jadavion Sanders, the read should have went to Jadavion Sanders, not Adam Thielen, right? People can say, well, the reason why it got, the ball got intercepted isn't on Bryce because Thielen wasn't aggressive enough to the ball. On that play, yeah, but at the same time, it's still a bad read. The better player, which was the defender on that play, made a better play on the ball. That's why the interception happened. I'm not saying that Bryce threw a bad ball and it got interception, okay? But his reads have to be better, and he has to learn how to stay patient and make the right one. Again, it's not perfect, which is far from it, but it's a hell of a lot better than what we saw when he's panicking and then mistake-prone messes happen, which we've seen in the past. Right? That's the thing that I notice. Now, another thing I noticed in this game with Bryce is that week 15, let's just call it like this. Let's call it like this. Week 15 was an absolute disaster, okay, against Dallas. But that's all it was. It was a bad game. Against Arizona, you proved it was a fluke. What I'm saying by that is it proves that you can learn how to learn from your mistakes and bounce back and go into the next game showing signs of confidence. And it's not that it's a sign of things to come. This version of Bryce Young that we're seeing right now bouncing back here. This is the guy we've been waiting for and hoping for when they drafted him. He is far from a finished product, but he's clearly growing. Now, once the Panthers fix their god-awful, I wouldn't say it's a god-awful supporting cast, but some of the pieces, right? I even think some in the passing game. There's every reason to believe Young will take a big step moving forward in year 3. right? But Canales 2024 season has been a steaming pile of mediocrity. But Young's resurgence is a bright spot, right? I think the Panthers don't need to overthink this in the offseason. They don't need to panic and draft another quarterback or sign some washed up veteran. I want to see them try to build around this kid and give him a fighting chance. If they want to bring in a guy to back him up, fine, right? Bring in a bridge guy to back him up because at least you can lean on him if Bryce doesn't pan out. Then you can go into the 2026 draft and get your guy because the 2026 draft, 4 quarterbacks is going to be 10 times better than what we're getting in this draft class. I can tell you that. So my final thoughts on Bryce Young, man, is he showed up when it mattered against Cardinals. He ran smart. He played smart. He proved he's got guts to bounce from the adversity. Is he perfect? Hell no. But he's progressing. That's all you can ask for. Now, the Panthers do have a decision to make this offseason. It's not a complicated one. I think you need to give Bryce Young maybe another weapon or two. Continue to build that offensive lineup in depth. Continue to add to the protection you need. Then get the hell out of his way. And, of course, build that defense back up, right? I want to give Bryce, like I said, I'm giving Bryce, and I'm holding my word to this, is that I'm going to give Bryce till November of next year. So by Thanksgiving time. That means that's 2.5 years, right? To progress. So now it's time for Carolina to stop screwing around and still add some pieces to this team. Hey, Clay, I want QB competition. Well, things we want and things we need are two different things, especially in the NFL. What QB competition are you going to go get them in this draft? Because I would love for you to tell me who. You could bring you could bring, that doesn't mean a guy that's a bridge guy doesn't mean that he's not going to get Bryce competition, man. If you truly don't believe in Bryce Young, Neo Shadow, which obviously you don't, you could bring back anybody then. Because really, there is nobody besides maybe Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders that I truly believe in this quarterback class. I know. I don't understand it either, Chance the Fapper. I'm the same way. It doesn't grow on trees. Quarterbacks just don't grow on trees every day. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, even Jared Goffs of the world don't grow on trees every day. Or every year. Trap, we don't even know if Milroe's coming into the draft yet. So I don't know why we want to continue to bring Milroe. Milroe is a tools guy. That is what he is. We don't know anything about him. His arm is not that good. I think if Milroe wants to try to come out next year, I don't think Milroe has committed to the draft. He's not making, no. He has not made a final decision. He's going to play in the bowl game, and then after the bowl game, he's going to announce if he's going to commit to the draft. Just looked it up. So after their bowl game, he will announce if he's going to commit or not. If he's smart, he won't commit. I think it would be very smart for Jalen Milroe to stay another year in college football and then come out the next. Even if you don't like Bryce, finding a QB to play similar to his level isn't common. He did commit. No, he hasn't, my friend. He hasn't. I promise you he hasn't. Let's get into some other performances and some other things I want to talk about. As I do want to talk about Dave Canales, though. I do want to talk about Dave Canales real quick. I do feel like Dave Canales needs to get his shit together a little bit. What I mean by that is, and listen, in this game, I felt like Dave Canales was better. But we have to address the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Canales is still figuring out. His game management, decision-making, to me, has been shaky as hell. Case in point, and you can go back and watch this. You can go through ESPN and go look at the play summary. The 3rd and 3 and 4th and 3 situations after the 2-minute warning, instead of trusting Hubbard, who was already tearing the Cardinals apart, Canales dialed up some empty set passing plays that went nowhere. It worked out in the end. But the thing is he's got to clean up these boneheaded calls, man. If this team wants to be competitive next year, you have to get together, Dave. The problem isn't just isolate incidents. It's a pattern. From questionable timeout usage to head-scratching play calls in critical moments, Canales has shown that he's not quite ready for the big leagues when it comes to in-game decision-making. And let's not forget the inconsistency. One week, he's letting Hubbard dominate. The next week, he's shifting the game plan away from his most productive player on the field. It's like watching someone play Madden, almost. Right? The good news is again, Canales is a rookie head coach, so I'm going to give him credit or I'm going to give him some leeway still. But there is plenty of room for him to grow. The bad news is if he doesn't figure it out fast, this team windows to capitalize on Bryce Young's rookie deal will slam shut before it even gets open. So I have to say the clock is ticking on Dave a little bit. Not necessarily saying he's going to get fired or anything like that, but it is, the clock is ticking with Bryce Young's rookie deal. So that's all I'm saying. So, Eric Blair, what's good, man? Appreciate you joining. Chance the Fapper says, laugh my ass off. I'm playing Madden right now. Yeah, I haven't played it in a while, man. I need to get back on it. All right, let's talk about this defense. Oh, my goodness. Can we go look? Let me go look at this defense. Let's go look at the defense real quick. That's crazy. Jacoby Windemon. Jacoby Windemon had 8 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 PD, and 1 quarterback hit. Okay. You got Sean Robinson. The next, all these guys had good games. JC Horn didn't really have much going on, which means that he didn't get thrown much his way. DJ Wanham got a sack. How many sacks has DJ Wanham got on the year now? He's got 4 sacks. Chow Smith Wade, okay. So, but we got to look at it this way. 206 rushing yards. This is where, again, the embarrassing run defense is predictable. And we got shredded by James Conner. And to me, I'm like, who the hell didn't see this coming? When you go look at the team stats and you allowed, again, 206 yards. Now, again, they allowed 243. Okay, whatever. But still, the fact of the matter is, what has been the same thing we've seen every single week by this defense? Like our defense has been an outright disaster all season. Sunday was no different. James Conner and Arizona exposed us. They humiliated us. Still, we humiliated their defense too. But again, it's week after week we're seeing it with this defense. Now, going into this game, an idiot could have predicted a big day for James Conner. Carolina's defensive coordinator, again, Ejiro Evero, came into this matchup coughing up an atrocious 173 yards per game rushing. Let's be clear. This isn't a fluke. They lack again. I will say they lack talent. And Evero sure as hell doesn't have the magic to cover up the gaping holes in his unit. But those two things together, you've got a perfect recipe for other teams to feast. At first, things didn't look completely hopeless. The Panthers jumped out right in an early lead, mostly thanks to Bryce Young showing off his legs, Chuba Hubbard opening up, getting, finding those open run lanes, right, making some plays with his own abilities. But, they created some much needed offense. But then when you go and look at this game, the Cardinals handed the ball to James Conner, and it went all downhill. And again, you look over here at the game leaders, right? Guess who was the game leader in rushing? Guess who's the game leader in receiving? James Conner. Before James Conner got injured, I told y'all he was their he was basically their whole offense. Conner did what he does. He runs hard, he breaks tackles, makes defender look stupid. He found every seam Carolina's defense left open, and believe me, there was plenty. He racked up big yardage in a hurry, bullied his way into the end zone, and by halftime, the Panthers' lead had all evaporated. But it was clear that we were getting our asses kicked in the trenches, right? Again, this defense by Ejiro Evero is atrocious. Because you got to think about it. Let's not dance around this. They blew a 20-3 lead, by the way, too, on top of that, which was allowed Arizona to force overtime with ease. James Conner ran all over us. You also got to think Kyler Murray also had 63 yards rushing as well. So the Cardinals had a whole, again, over 200 yards rushing. Again, which our defense is averaging 173 yards per game in rushing. They were averaging between the two of Kyler Murray and James Conner. They were averaging 7 yards per carry. More than 7 yards per carry, actually. This run defense is a liability, and it's embarrassing. Again, I think Ejiro Evero does deserve some blame, but let's be honest. The guy, again, I have to also say that he's working with a duct tape talented roster, but some of the things that I don't understand, which I've told y'all before, is the scheme that he's running is too complex because there's not enough talent. It's a bend don't break defense, and it's breaking definitely in the running game. Now, the pass game's a different story. But you also have seen that we've seen the secondary blow coverages. We've seen the linebackers be inability to shed blocks. The defensive line is getting bullied at the point of the attack. It's all bad. The lack of adjustments by Ejiro Evero is alarming. It's been bad all season. Why is J.C. Horn not on the best wide receiver of the opposing team week in and week out? It blows my mind. And I still don't understand why. This unit isn't just struggling. It's actively costing us. I think this defense is costing this team games. If you can't stop the run, you can't win in this league. And the Panthers front office needs to take a long, hard look on how they're going to fix this disaster, whether it's new personnel, whether it's a new scheme, coach, or both. Something has to change, and something's going to have to change this offseason because this was a predictable train wreck for Carolina. They got manhandled at the line of scrimmage. Like I said, they look like they were running in quicksand at the second level. Again, if you're looking for someone to blame, the list is long. General Manager Dan Morgan, again, I'm telling you right now, needs to make this a priority to fix this disaster priority number one, whether Evero keeps his job or not. It doesn't matter. I understand Derek Brown was out, has been out all season. And I know the Panthers are missing him, but let's not kid ourselves. He couldn't have fixed this mess single-handedly. Carolina doesn't just need Derek Brown back. They need an entire overhaul of their front seven. It doesn't matter how they get it done. Draft picks, free agents, street signings, I don't care. Just get some NFL caliber talent in here for God's sakes. Maybe they grab a top tier prospect like a Mason Graham in the draft, right? Maybe they throw cash at a proven free agent. Hell, at this point, they could roll the dice on a guy off of waivers, and it would still be an improvement because whatever they are planning and doing nothing isn't an option. Like, teams know that the Panthers' run defense is a fucking joke, and they're attacking it with zero hesitation. And again, James Carter just happened to be the lucky guy this week. Let's be honest. This outcome was written off before the kickoff. I told you guys that James Conner was going to run all over us. What's up, top? Ron Rivera? Maybe. Could be back. Could be back, Eric. We saw him at the game. Could be back to become a DC. Maybe a DC. I don't know. What up, Carolina brothers? Congrats on y'all's win this week. Tabletop. Good game for you guys, man. Put Kyler into the wintertime Madden tourney. There you go. There you go. Hey, congrats on y'all's win there in Washington, my friend. Congrats. Let's talk about this jokester for a second. I'm gonna move on over to this real quick. I'm gonna move over to this real quick. Look at this. Look at this guy. Here's your favorite guy. Let's talk about Eddie Pinheiro real quick. 1 field goal made, 3 for 4 extra points. All right. We need to talk about this guy, though. We need to talk about this guy. Eddie Pinheiro, man. I'm ready to cut ties. I'm be honest with you guys. I'm ready to move on from this guy. He's missed some key extra points and field goals in the past few weeks, including ones that have altered the flow of games. He's the third most accurate kicker in NFL history. He's the third now, ladies and gentlemen, not number one, third. And accuracy doesn't mean much when you're blowing chip shots in critical moments. Pinheiro's is a free agent after the season, and I'm going to say good riddance. Right? And he needs to be gone. What's most frustrating about Pinheiro's decline is that he's completely avoidable, kicking as much as mental as it is physical, and the fact that he's missing under pressure suggests to me that he might not have the mental toughness to handle big moments. The Panthers need a kicker that they can trust in crunch time. Pinheiro isn't it, man. Look for the front office to bring in some competition this offseason, or better yet, let Pinheiro walk and start fresh. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I'm ready to move on from this guy, man. Ready to move on. Badly. So, again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's live stream. Again, it was a great win for Carolina at the end, man. Again, this is all about progress at the end of the day, and that's what we got to see. I think another thing is um Bryce Young, I think it does need some help moving forward. I think that's on both sides of the ball. I think that's on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side. I think one of the glaring takeaways that I saw on Sunday for Bryce Young is that you can't expect him to do it all by himself. And what I mean by that is this is a perfect example if you think about it, right? So we go over here. All right. And we look at this. I mean, this makes a lot of sense here. Bryce Young's wide receivers. Adam Thielen, 34 years old, undrafted free agent. Jalen Coker, rookie, undrafted free agent. Now, this was this Sunday. David Moore, 29 years old, 7th round pick. Yes, Xavier Legette was out. Okay. So what? Still could say a rookie wide receiver, 1st round pick. Sure. Like Adam Thielen dropped a perfectly thrown ball in this game on Young's first pass. David Moore added a brutal drop in a key moment. Jalen Coker's injuries have only underscored how barren the cupboard is for Young in terms of receiving options, right? And legitimate weapons, right? So this is what I'm talking about right here. Like you look at this, it kind of puts it in a little bit of context as to what I'm talking about. So, like, again, I think the front office needs to definitely stop screwing around, get this kid a legit weapon this offseason. I think it would be good for Legette's development, Coker's development. Thielen will be on his way out, right? Draft, free agent, whatever. They can fix it. Again, give this kid some more offensive firepower. All right. It isn't just a problem for Young, it's a problem for the entire team. And same thing on the defense. When the defenses don't respect your passing game, the stack the box against the run, again, it makes life harder for Hubbard and it limits the offensive overall effectiveness. So I think if Panthers want to maximize your quarterback's potential, they need to surround him with some talent. And I think they need to do that, do it yesterday. But, obviously we're looking towards Tampa Bay now. I'll be breaking that game down later on this week. The bottom line is here, let's just say this. The bottom line is for this game this past Sunday is this. They showed us what the Panthers can be and what they still need to fix. Again, Hubbard was a beast. Bryce Young is trying to prove that he's the future. The defense is trash. The coaching has growing pains. This roster needs a serious infusion of talent on both sides of the ball. Again, I continue to enjoy this win going into the Christmas season. All you guys watching, savor it because there's still 2 games to go before this team stops being the butt of the NFC South. So, again, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And guys, do me a favor. Again, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you won't miss out on any new content. Of course, leave a comment. As always, love to hear y'all's thoughts. Again, enjoy the holiday. And everybody, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And I will see you on either Thursday or Friday or both. You might see me on both days. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Again, enjoy y'all's Christmas. Enjoy your time with your family. God bless you. And I appreciate all your love and support, especially during this time of the year. So again, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And as always, guys, keep pounding. Peace.